Well, we've got the title that was the first superhero title, Action Comics. 1057. Well, it's had some drawbacks. It's got a great story with the Superman and Lois and Clark 2. I guess they call it. Super is as super does. It's not very good. And then there's the main story of Action, Revenge of the Demon, Part 1. And that's not right. Ra's al Ghul, so I don't think it is. Well, he's the head of the demon. Yeah. So anyway, the next epic starts here. Oh, who's she? Well, believe it or not, she's the leader of the MAGA movement. I mean, Blue Earth movement. So basically, that's what it is. You get a little extra about that. But first, hey, we get Superman showing he cares about the little guy. And this was a guy who got in some trouble, but Superman set him up. He got a job, and he's doing all right, And they're up there eating sandwiches with birds. And it's nice, Yeah. So ultimately, Clark Kent is requested to give this interview to the leader of the Blue Earth movement or whatever. And, it's a teenage girl, I guess. I don't know. Oh, a green glowing thing. And he just shakes her hand, and, well, it's all right. So I don't know if it's supposed to be kryptonite or some derivative of it or what have you. But, you can expect it. And, of course, they obviously already know that he is actually Superman, who's the main target of their movement. They don't want aliens on Earth and all that. And, of course, it's a metaphor for xenophobia and all that, And then her bodyguard here turns out to be a monstrous villain that can fight him and stuff. So anyway, they do the interview. And how did you come to found a group like Blue Earth? Is your family involved too? You wouldn't know my family. They're environmental scientists, green energy and such. It doesn't interest me at all, see? So she's gone wrong. She got red-pilled. And they turned her mind against the beauty of green energy and stuff. And so now she's all MAGA. I mean Blue Earth. So I believe real magic is in people, the influence we exert on each other. And, of course, she wants to exert negative influence and all that stuff. So there they go. And he talks xenophobic rhetoric and all that stuff. And then he says, I've never asked my followers to hurt anyone. So he's using his x-ray vision and hearing to, basically do the lie detector test, He says, lie! So she has ordered them to hurt people. And I've certainly never committed violence myself. Lie! She's the villain. So, of course, But she's a thinly veiled representative of, the political situation. Yeah. Well, anyway. So, okay. That's all that was. So it was basically wasted. And then her bodyguard transforms, and Clark is like, oh, God, I'm sick. Oh, and there's green glowing, so I'm assuming, there's some amount of kryptonite. I don't know if at first, did they manage, because he had already made good with Metallo, but, was it a new version of Metallo or whatnot? But that would be rather soon. But no, he's, I don't know, a shape changer of some sort, but it ends on a cliffhanger. So finally, the only story worth reading is this one set in the past, which kind of doesn't apply anymore because the New 52 has pretty much been erased, and this is when this took place, but whatever. But it's got Lee Week's art, and it's a pretty good story of Superman going to rescue his son back when his son was as he should have stayed for a very long time, I don't like what they've done with Jonathan Kent. Okay, you got to address the gay thing. He is still a relatively new character, so technically you could feasibly argue it's not a gender, a orientation swap, but they prematurely aged him, which is creepy as all get out, and it was obviously a last minute shoehorn for political virtue points and tokenism. Especially since they were setting him up to, have a crush on Saturn Girl and Legion of Superheroes and all that stuff. And suddenly did a 180 on it. And this, oh, he's bisexual. He's never going to have a girlfriend, so he's not bisexual. He's gay now. So that one was the best story. Then you have this Connor Kent story, which replaces Steelworks, which was terrible, and Power Girl, which was just awful. So, not really. He's just angry teenager. He dyes his hair red, and he's like, I'm lost and stuff, and that's it. So, basically, the middle story is the better one, and too bad that's not the whole focus of the title, that they just forget about everything else and just set it back at this time. And, put him back in his real suit and everything, and that it's just him and Lois raising their son. That would have been so much better. And he's being Superman and doing good stuff. Nah, can't have that. Meanwhile, over at Marvel, there was Ultimate Invasion, and, I was kind of hyped for it. I thought it was a good idea to restore the Ultimate Universe, which is the ultimate goal. Giggle, tee-hee. And this is the final issue. I know, it's like, well, nothing really happened. You're right. The main events took place in between issues and panels, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so, there's the cover. It ends off with a version of Reed Richards, apparently, in Dr. Doom's mask. And he's left with Howard Stark. They concoct a plan to undo what the Maker, evil Reed Richards, is doing. And oh, look, there he is in his Doom suit. But is it Reed Richards? And which Reed Richards? Is he supposed to be an alternate universe Reed Richards, but isn't the Maker the alternate universe Reed Richards, or is he actually Victor Von Doom? In this world, I don't know. So Howard Stark gets his suit ready, and the plan's initiated to undo the Maker's plans. And who's the leader of the opposition? Oh, it's Kang. So this is Kang in an Iron Man suit. Shows up. Oh boy, this is what the Maker's been looking for. And so they fight, and that's the deal with all his, Avengers clones. And then finally, it appears. And I'm just going to spoil it for you. Sorry. Tony Stark becomes Iron Lad. Well, if you know your Marvel comics, you realize the Iron Lad of Young Avengers was Kang from the future, but as a teenager. And so, but in this universe, Tony Stark is Kang, but he starts out as Iron Lad, and all that. So the upshot of it is that the Maker has changed the history of the Ultimate Universe and is trying to forge it into his vision. And as a result, he runs afoul of this version of Kang, who is in reality Tony Stark, and it sets off a chain of events. But all the series is over, so how does it all work out? And I guess I won't spoil the final image of what it shows of how they can save the Ultimate Universe into an age of heroism and what. The bulk of they show a lot of action scenes and stuff, and it looks like it was really cool, but it isn't. Those were very brief. There's a bunch of it where it's just the Hulk and the X-Men talking over drinks and wondering how they're going to take over if the Maker fails or whatever, So, gee, this is kind of lackluster and how stupid. Well, don't worry. Now you got to wait for another miniseries, Ultimate Universe. So I don't know. Will that be 4 issues too? So maybe something will actually happen in this one. Oh, look, it's the Ultimates back together again, maybe. And then eventually, I guess it just ends in Ultimate Spider-Man, because Miles Morales, he said he didn't want to go along for the ride, so I'm guessing he'll be forced to or something. But not in this series. It's over. So, bit of a letdown. Look pretty, because, the art's really good, but quite the letdown. But, hey, Ultimate Universe is coming. Maybe it'll make it all worthwhile. Maybe it should have just done that in the series itself, but, well, I don't know. And enough of these pages here, where there's a bunch of them that just takes up space. Yeah, you're not fooling anybody. It'll be a map, or it's like a brochure, or a table of contents. You don't need that. write and draw a comic book. So finally, I decided to revisit some very old comic. This was a series of comics they did about old pulp characters, and Justice Inc. featuring the Avenger. And he was mostly known as the Avenger. And of course, he has this weird appearance that just because he's a cold, steely cold man with dead features. And so he can treat his face like putty and disguise himself as other people. And, well, okay. Anyway, this is the second issue of the DC line. By Jack Kirby. So you get that, and then here's this guy called the Skywalker. Jesus, things in the way. A shocker. The Avenger battles the deadliest man alive, the Skywalker. So once again, George Lucas steals Jack Kirby. So this is a guy who seemingly walks on the sky with his weird sci-fi canon thing. There you go. So, a figure of ice and steel, more pitiless than both. This is Richard Benson, the dreaded Avenger. Follow him as he and his Justice Incorporated team travel to the nation's heartland and begin a desperate struggle to catch a mass killer. Can they stop the inhuman fiend who collapses skyscrapers like matchsticks? Can even Justice Incorporated halt the reign of death and destruction spawned by the Skywalker? Yeah, they will. But you don't really get to see the Skywalker in much action. This is about it. I don't know why, but yeah, that's the way it went. So he does about at this point, he's destroyed a train, and Avenger and his buddy show up, and oh no, look at that. The guy's walking on air. How did he do that? I don't know. We'll find out. So they fly around. They come into these criminals and find out what's going on, and they get a new team member, and this guy who pretends to be stupid, but is in reality a very intelligent man. Yes. See, they used to do that back then too. You didn't really need woke era and all that. So anyway, he's going to impersonate this criminal. So here he is. He just pushes his face to make it look like the guy. Puts on some makeup he has laying around. And then, hey, look, he looks just like him. Oh, boy, he goes into the office and he's looking for the thing. But it turns out that guy he disguised himself as was the Skywalker. And his trick is he figured out how to make an airplane invisible. So he just rides around in the plane and it looks like he's walking on the air. So the Avenger takes aim, shoots him. Oh, no. Oh, and then his little ray cannon or whatever destroys his plane, and he doesn't have any power. And oh no, he disintegrated his own plane, so he falls down. Well, that's the end of him. He's gone, and I suppose his name was Gant. Gant's secrets died with him. Too bad, but too bad. I could have used that stuff myself anyway. But at least justice is served. Yes, because of a single fierce, noble Avenger, justice is served. The end. So, it was a fun romp, Jack Kirby art and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I liked it. Probably better than an Ultimate Invasion. But I guess the Superman and Lois story takes the win for these choices of comics that I read and reviewed for you here on Mr. Nailsin's Wednesday Comics.